Hello everyone, the inspector back with you once again, Easter Monday. Want to get a head shave in, and we're going to use the Supply Max. I did a first video with it, and I outlined some of the things, a lot of other people did too. We'll do a head shave, but before that, let me just go over the things. I think it's a really good razor. A couple of things I would suggest to Supply. They've done it on their other razors. This would be an easy fix, in my opinion. First of all, it has decent knurling. It's sort of a hexagonal shape here, vertical lines. I would, like they did with their other razors, little plastic sleeve on there, okay? The other thing, if they're reimagining this to make it a thicker handle, but a better grip with a plastic sleeve for about $8, like they did with the other razors, would be a good compromise. The other thing is, I found it just a tad bit head heavy. And what I would have done is hollow out this middle here. It's not that bad because this is aluminum. So I was told, and maybe some zinc or something. So I don't know exactly. I know it's not stainless steel for sure, but if you hollow that out, that would take some of the head heaviness away. And the balance would be a tad bit better. Yeah, I'm a little bit nitpicking there maybe, but this is what I like to see as my, aside from those two things, yes, the proprietary blade, for some it's an issue. Aside from that, I get it, but that's what I would like to see anyhow. At least a little sleeve here, that would go from maybe here to here would be great. Just slide it on. But I have the black blades that came with it, so I'll be using this. Also, I'm going to be using a sample of Sterling Alghieri, and what I've done is I pecked away at the sample puck, and I just put it in my Shave Nation bowl here, lather bowl. So this smells pretty good. I can't explain how it smells, but it's not bad at all. For a brush, we're going with the Alex Marshall made, and this is a Pure Bliss knot, 28 millimeter. This is the American Twist. Now, Alex didn't have a name for this, so American Twirl or Swirl, sorry, because it's swirled and has red, white, and blue. I didn't want to name it after myself because I don't like the self-promotion. I'm always aware that I'd rather let the hobby shine and other people shine. I don't really want to be, the focal point of it. This is just not me. And he said, good idea. So it's an American Swirl. If you're interested, a nice beefy handle. I picked out this Pure Bliss knot. Got this at the razor company, and this doesn't disappoint. This is just absolutely incredible. The G5 knot would have been my second choice. I have that in my Alpha brush here, the fan knot, which is excellent. All right, so, well, we've gone on long enough for that. Let's do the head shave. All right. You don't have to soak these, the synthetic brushes. What I do is I warm them up, get it just damp, and then we'll go into lathering here. all right? So we'll do that first. I guess I washed out my head really well. So I'm just gonna heat up the brush with some water. Gently squeeze it, don't pull. All right, so we have, you just shake it out, and we'll just start with the damp rather than go in with a whole bunch of water and oversaturate. Now, I don't want to do that. So my goal here is to don't mash, just swirl. You can splay it a little bit, but you don't mash because you're gonna ruin the knot. You don't want to do that. So I made that mistake when I first started. My first brush just ruined it, Parker. Nice Parker brush. But anyhow, so I'm getting it like this, and see there's some soap on the bottom. As we put in a little bit more water, that'll dissipate and create the lather go into my brush on the size of the bowl. And we'll see what we come up with here. I like the idea of these sample pucks just taking a little bit off at a time. You could put the whole thing in here, but I'd rather keep the unused in plastic until I need it. It just makes sense to me. You guys do what you want. It's your soap and your gear, so that's just what I do. I'm just putting it out there. All right, so look, just gonna add a touch more water, and you could hear it. It's a sound, okay, that it makes that I think now it's really nice and creamy. I'm just gonna wet the head again. Melly Mel asked me in my first video, why don't you do a head shave? Because I know he does, and he's like, some of you guys are interested in how this does, you know. First of all, I'm using it because it's a pivoting head. Now, I don't use non-pivoting heads on my my razor heads. Razors on my head, should I say? All right, I just don't. It doesn't work for me. Some people use DEs and whatever, and that's fine, but not for me. I've used the Leaf, I've used disposables, the Easy Rinse, I've used a decent number of them. The Proof, which is excellent. So we come to the Supply, which is their first pivoting head razor. So we'll heat up the blade. This is the second use on this Black Label blade. We're gonna go from front to back to front. Between that, we'll do an across the grain pass in the back of my head like I usually do. All right, so we'll see how it does here. And no pressure. I'm just gonna lightly come across and down. All right. The blade is, you could tell the sharpness of this Black Label blade is, this is good. And it's pretty darn smooth, I should say. Really happy with these black blades. The platinums are good also. They're very good. So I don't know. These are, I think, Japanese made blades here. So, but you still want to tread lightly, guys. No, there's no reason to press. There's plenty of weight in the head. All right. So far it's so good. It feels pretty good. All right. Nice. I have about, I think it's 3 days growth on my on the head. I'll do a face shave later, I think. I will start up again doing videos for the razor company. You guys see me on there, on their site. after a hiatus because Jonathan and Shay left. So I just got in touch with Jason and start up again with that. So I think I'll do a face shave for them, but I wanted to do a video for this for you guys today because some of you are interested. I know this is a new product and great face shaver. So we want to see, how does it do on the head? Well, so far, pretty darn well, all right? Go back to the brush. Just added a touch drop of water on here. Sometimes you may have to do that because it will, some soaps will dry out a little bit, and that's what you'd expect out of any soap, really, especially if it's a little drier to begin with. And some of you guys like your lather pasty, others a little bit more hydrated. I'm sort of in between, I think. So, but anyhow, all right, so I'm going to go across the back of my neck and in overlapping strokes with a light touch. We'll see how we do here. All right, so just coming right across, light touch. Not overly aggressive. This is a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more blade exposure than the Proof. Proof is really mild but effective. The whole key, guys, to these pivoting heads is to lay the razor flat onto the skin to engage that pivot. All right. If you do that, that's, I think, half of the battle. You don't have to, quote, find any angles on this stuff. Pivoting heads, that's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to let that pivoting razor head contour to your curves on your head or your face. And if you can do well on your head with this, that's a real mark of it, that it works well for you, because the head is a lot more difficult to shave than your face because of that. All right, so I'm going to lather up the back again, and we're going to do our second pass back to front rather. But no problems with the knurling. I think it would feel better if it was a silicone rubber type of situation on here. Maybe I'll pass that along to supply. I don't know if they'll listen. They're going to say, who is this inspector guy telling us? I don't know. I'm just saying. That may not be the case. Who knows? But I will make that pitch to him. I think a lot of guys are, or maybe have thought about that. I don't know. Let me know if you do in the comments. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is for you guys. Get the conversation going. If it needs to be had, we'll have it. I don't shy away from much. The only thing I do take issue with, if it's a nasty, belligerent, trolling type thing, then you're looking at the inspector's wrath on that one. So otherwise, the guys that I've been doing videos for, next month will be 5 years, believe it or not. So you know how I am, but I welcome comments, and whatever you guys have for me is no problem, because I usually get maybe average 5 or 10 comments for each video. It doesn't take me long. It doesn't take up a big amount of time to respond, even if it's just a a thumbs up, okay, whatever. No big deal. It's good that it's at that level, so for me it's nice and it's manageable, okay? So I'm just gonna go make sure I get the ears, and it does a good job here. I always have to make sure I get close on that bottom. You guys know what I'm talking about, because if you don't, you wind up all of a sudden, 3 weeks go by and you get a hair like this, and you're like, what happened? Well, it's because you didn't pay attention and go behind the ears. But that's it. All right, let's rinse off and towel off. We'll see how we did, and of course we'll put some Thayer's cucumber mist on. So, actually, didn't mention the soap, but as with all Sterling products, soap especially, like we're using here, performance is phenomenal, as you've seen me lather up. Okay, and so we've used our sample of Alghieri. Very nice. I don't know if they still have this, offering it right now, but they're coming out with their summer scents and stuff like that. So they go and they come seasonally, I guess. I got something coming soon. I actually forgot what I ordered. Isn't that a shame? I'll find out. I think it's coming Wednesday. Anyhow, you'll see it. Supply razor with the black label blade. How did it do? Awesome. Melly Mel, that's for you. The Shade Nation stainless steel bowl. This is here with your thumb. You could put it in your lather, and it really works well. The Marshall made 28 millimeter American swirl brush with the Pure Bliss knot. Nice, very soft, covers a lot of ground. I like 28 millimeters. Great. All right, we'll end with some Thayer's cucumber on the head. A great end to a great shave. All right, whether it be head or face. All right, so I have, just before we go, I'm going to flip this top here. All right, be careful. All right, see that flips up. And I do this because I'm going to rinse inside there. I think this is really important. I don't think anyone really mentioned the cleaning, but I am, because it's important to keep your gear right. I'm going to go under hot water like I do when I rinse, not in the soapy water. All right, hot water, as hot as you can get it, and just let it run. Now, you can do this if you want. You can lift the blade up, being careful, you have to be careful, and go under it. You could do that too, if you want, and that's the way to remove your blade, but also get a dry part of your towel. And what I'll do is just do this, and I'll go underneath and all the way around and just blot it, just pat it dry, okay? Inside. I'm not rubbing it. All right, so here it is. It looks pretty good. You're just putting it like that to sop up any moisture. I'm gonna let this like this in my stand air dry, and after a couple of hours I'll flip it back up and secure it, but I just want to let it air dry right now. All right, so I'll do that. And I still have, guys, a ton of lather here. So I don't know what to do. Usually if I do a face shave and I have some extra, a lot of lather, I'll put it on my face and let it sit, let it moisturize. You can do the same thing with your head if you want. It's up to you. I'm not gonna do it now, but anyhow, I'm gonna rinse that out, clean up. Anyhow, guys, hopefully you'll see me on the TRC YouTube channel. Tune into that, subscribe. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Hopefully I'll see you there soon. Otherwise, yeah, we'll be back for another video, hopefully in another couple of days. Until then, this is the Inspector with the head shave. Have a great Monday, great rest of the week, guys. We will see you soon. Bye.